everybody. Welcome to Wild Wednesday Live. We're having a slight technical difficulty here right at the last second that Ron's working on. So if you're getting some screeching, hang on. We're working on that right now. Give me just a second. It's always last minute. I think we got that. Maybe not. Hang on just a second. We're still okay, there we go. All right, let's try that again. Take two. Welcome to Wild Wednesday Live. I'm Raylene from Just Notions, and I'm going to be your host today. And are we good now? Okay, he's still trying to fidget with stuff and get it going here. Um, so, okay, are we good now? Okay. Oh my goodness. You guys know how it is when we're live. We never know what's going to happen last minute. And, it's always something. We thought we were all ready to go. But anyway, we're ready now. We're going to keep on going through today. So welcome, everybody. We are in studio today. Just a few things that we want to go through before we get to our first vendor today. First of all, those of you that have been on before, you know the drill. You're already doing it. We like to start every show with roll call. So if you're new with this, we just like to have you type in where you're watching us from today. It looks like we got a lot of regulars coming in right now. We got Suzanne from Massachusetts. We've got Tessa from Oregon, Sharon from Fresno, California. We've got Mo in Idaho. Mo, we're going to see you soon. Every time I do anything for Boise, I think, oh, we're going to see Mo soon. Let's see. Carol is on. We've got Northern Colorado, Jody, Livermore, California, Rondi. So we got a lot of people joining us now. We're just so happy that you all found your way to us today. Okay, so let's get through this here, all this housekeeping stuff here. Let me check my notes. So the next live and in-person show, as I just mentioned, is going to be Boise. That is May 12th through the 14th. Followed by 2 weeks after that, we will be back in Castle Rock, Colorado. We're so excited to be back in Castle Rock. We were not able to do it last year as part of the mix once we got back on the road. We had to find a different location, but we're going to be back in Castle Rock, and that is May 26th through the 28th. Now, of course, everybody keeps asking, are you guys going to have an after party? And I think I've been very clear about that. No. As much fun as we had in Sacramento, it was so much work. But not only that, it's just that after a really busy day as vendors, it's all we can do to grab a quick bite of dinner and then go crash in our hotel room. So having to stay up and be happy until 9 o'clock was really rough on all of us. But we are going to be doing something a little different, starting with the Boise show. And we're going to give you more details as we get closer. But we're actually going to be having a scavenger hunt at the show. And the winner of the scavenger hunt is going to get a chance to win a beautiful basket full of donated items from our vendors. So we'll give you more information on that when we get a little bit closer. And if it goes well, we'll do it in Castle Rock as well. This is something we think we can do at all the shows without having to, put so much work ahead of time and then have to be up late one of the nights. So, and let's see, if you're going to Boise, just want to remind you that if you go to quiltcraftsew.com, you can pre-purchase your tickets. You'll get a little discount if you buy them ahead of time. But more than anything, wait a minute, not Boise. I'm talking about Castle Rock. Boy, I'm all shook up now. Boise's a free show. You don't have to worry about tickets. But Castle Rock, if you check quiltcraftsew.com, usually about a month before the show, you will be able to get a discounted ticket. So whenever there are paying shows, they always try and do that. And, just because now I know somebody's going to say, well, why are some shows free and some not? It really has to do with how much they have to pay to get the building. They would love to be able to do it at every show, but they just can't. They have to be able to, cover their expense and make a little bit of money as well. So that's why some are and some are not. Okay, let's see. Door prizes. Boy, do we have a good group of door prizes today. Now, if you're new with us, the way this works is later on in the show, I'm going to give you a secret word. And once I do that, all you do is type it in the comments one time, and that enters you in the door prize drawing. Then you just come back to the Wild Wednesday Live Facebook page about an hour after the show, and you'll see a post right as soon as you click on that page. It's always pinned to the top. You're going to see a post with who won and what you need to do to redeem. But today, our very generous vendors have a brilliant bindings tool and patterns from Wendt Quilting. We have a kit from Uniquely Crafts. I'm not sure what what Linda McGee he's giving. I'll let her tell us that when we get her on here later. We've got a Notions bag from Just Notions and 2 Wild Wednesday coffee mugs from Wild Wednesday Live. And I do want to add that, you know, it's been quite a while ago that I told you guys if we ever got to 1,000 people following our Facebook page, that I would donate a $50 gift certificate for justnotions.com. We finally hit that a couple of days ago. So we will have a 6th door prize, and we'll draw that first so that everybody is, all the names are on the big wheel when we draw that card. So that'll be part of the Facebook post with the winners. So that was pretty exciting. The next time we give something big, if we hit 1,500 people, I will give a $100 gift card. So that's something that we need to all be striving for. You know, Beth always gets on to all you guys about not sharing so that you have better chances to win. But we keep telling you, the more people that are viewing live, the better the prizes get. So share, share, share. All right. And then remember, when you do see us at a live show, there are 7 words that are going to get you a gift. And that is, I get wild with you on Wednesday. Ron has it right there on the screen. By now, all of our regular viewers should know this, should have it tattooed on your arm or something. But if you go to either my booth, Just Notions, or Beth's booth, Fabric Chicks Creative Oasis, and say, I get wild with you on Wednesday, we both have a very special gift for you. And a lot of the other vendors also participate in that. Teresa at Big Mat Rotary Cutting Surface always has something for you. Adele at Chocolate Tour always has something for you. So we always ask that, you know, even if you're not going to get a free gift, that you let the vendors that you've seen on the show know. When you see them in person, tell them, I saw you on Wild Wednesday, so they know all their hard work preparing for their performance pays off. All right, so I think that's, so let me just double check all my notes. Oh, one other thing, and I'll remind you again before we're done, don't forget that today at 4 o'clock Pacific time, that Beth is going to be having her celebration that she does every week. But this week, she's also having a live auction for some one-of-a-kind items by Eleanor Peace Bailey. So be sure at 4 o'clock, if you can, you head on over to the Fabric Chicks Creative Oasis Facebook page and join in on all that fun. I know I'm going to be there. So, okay, well, first up today, I'm so excited to have Debbie Wendt with us from Wendt Quilting. This is her first appearance on the show. So first thing I'm going to say, guys, you better be showing her some Wild Wednesday love because she's got a great discount on her great tool. So we're going to bring her in and say hi. Hi, Debbie.
Hello. Great to be here.
We are so glad to have you on. It's like we're very excited. We all love to see some tricks about binding, first of all. But since you are on the, I mean, no, you're not new to the business, and a lot of us have known you forever as a vendor. But for our viewers that don't get to your neck of the woods, let us know where you're from. And do you have a store? Or are you just on the road and website? Just give them a little bit of a bio on you, so they'll get to know you a little bit better.
Okay, short and sweet. I live in Uxbridge, Massachusetts, but when I open my mouth, you know I'm not from here. I'm actually from the Kansas City, Missouri area. I've been doing this since 2007, and I do not have a storefront. I do the shows and I teach.
That's fantastic. That's like a lot of us have stopped with that whole store mess, but I don't envy anybody that still has to keep their brick and mortar going, and I have not missed that for 1 second. But we're just so happy to have you on, and I don't want to take any more time up because I want you to be able to have time to show all your wonderful tools. So go ahead and take it away. We're going to let you go.
Thank you, Raylene. Hello out there again. So start off with, quilt behind me is one that I made with my Brilliant Bindings tool. So you're going to see that behind me as we go through some things. Just to keep me focused, because I love to talk, I'm going to show you a couple videos. I'm going to start with my Brilliant Bindings tool. I designed this back, probably about 2003, 4, 5. In 2007, it became what you will see in the video. And it is a trapezoid shape, and there's some other things we can do with that. Full color instructions are in every tool, so I'm going to start the video, and let's see if I can do this correctly since this is my first time, and we'll get you going on seeing this. Now, we're going to start it from the beginning here. This is Brilliant Bindings. Brilliant Bindings is the tool for making your perfect mitered corners and no fuss binding in seams. Brilliant Bindings does come with full color instructions to take you through all of your steps, including how to prepare a binding, do your perfect mitered corner, and finish those tail ends. With Brilliant Bindings, we do work off of a 45 angle. You can use the tool to cut that 45. If you have a bias binding, you already have that 45 angle. It does not matter which direction your angle is cut on your beginning tail, we will get the same finish. Brilliant Bindings is also used for this perfect mitered corner. I'm sewing a 1/4 inch seam, so I'm going to stop a 1/4 inch from the upcoming edge. You can also use the little miter on the corner of the tool to mark your stopping point. When you stop, leave your needle down, turn and stitch into the corner. Those little stitches helps know where to go for that perfect miter. The binding flip-flop, there's the flip to keep it straight in line with the upcoming edge. Flop it on top of itself. Keep all these edges pretty straight and even when you start sewing in that new direction. That will help you keep that perfect miter. When you turn it to the back, you get your perfect miter on the front. Work with it to get that perfect miter to happen on the back as well. To finish those tail ends, we're working off of that 45 angle. Lay the beginning tail flat in your open area. You're going to take the ending tail across. Open that so you can see what's touching the quilt. Mark the point of overlap and the angle of that cut edge with a pen. Take your tail off onto a cutting mat. There is a 1/2 inch on the 45 end of Brilliant Bindings. That will go on the pin in the same angle. We make sure we're nice and straight with the edge, 1/2 inch on the line. Make your cut. That 1/2 inch allows for your 1/4 seam allowance. To finish those tail ends, you're going to bring them up together, stitch that 1/4 inch seam, finger press it open. Looks like all the others in your continuous binding fits in your open area exactly. Brilliant Bindings comes a 1/4 inch thick for long arm quilters. Full color instructions. As you saw, the 1/8 inch thick for all quilters. Okay. And the last words that got cut off were, may all your bindings be brilliant. So let me show you a few things that you may not have seen on the video. It is kind of hard to see a yellow fabric. So this is the back on that perfect miter, and then the front. You want that perfect miter both on that back and the front. So that's a little tip there. And it does not matter how much space you leave to finish those tail ends. You decide what you like to work with on your quilt. If you've got a big quilt, leave a bigger space. So with Brilliant Bindings, I did mention you can do some other things with it. I have 15 patterns that use the tool as a cutting template. So this is, I just grabbed them, pulled them out of their sleeve. The one behind me is the most popular, and that one is called Twirl-A-Tool. I'm trying to get to it right here so you can see what that cover looks like. These are all on my website, and I have a couple of them here to show you. So this is Tool Time Table Runner. This used 3.5 inch strips instead of 2.5, but you can certainly use 2.5 inch strips. It's a great little table runner to put on any table. My Fields of Brilliant Diamonds pattern actually has a table runner included. Love those yellows and blues. So the actual block, if I turn this back, you can see where that block is. The idea is you can see trapezoids in this block. So we're using Brilliant Bindings as a cutting template. This one used the full size of the template. So if I lay it right here on a 3.5 inch strip, then we don't have that little waste that a lot of times you get if you have a block something like this. So that was Fields of Brilliant Diamonds. We've got diamond tip tools. So here it is. This was a jelly roll quilt. The quilt on the cover is purple. I've got a real pretty bright one I bring with me to shows. And this is a 2.5-inch strip. So I tell you which side of the tool you're going to use for that and how you're going to put those together. So Brilliant Bindings is a great use for your bindings as well as these other things. I've done some blog posts to tell you other tips that you can use with this also. So be sure to check out my blog, and that's my name, DebbieWendt.com, to get my 2 tips every Tuesday. I'm going to show you another tool that I just designed, and I'll show you it first because I've got a new one, is Hexamajig. So we're doing those half hexies. We can cut fulls, we can cut diamonds, we can cut triangles, we can cut edge pieces. Here's Junior, that's 2.5-inch strips. The big guy was 3.5-inch, and my new Hexa Mini is for 2-inch strips. So without further ado, let me try this again, and I'm going to show you a little 3-minute video on using Hexamajig and Junior. Mini wasn't there yet when this video was done, but Mini is for 2-inch strips. Whoops, something, I can't share 3 at once, so let me delete something, remove. See if this one will go. There we go. And it's not playing. Let's see what we can do. Let's see, let me get, oh, that's Brilliant Bindings. We don't want that one. Let's go with, okay, let me remove this other one. Let's see what happens if we can get my hexies. If not, I can just show you live here in a camera. So let me try that one more time. There it is. I'd like to introduce you to Wendt Quilting's latest tools. Hexamajig is for 3.5-inch strips. Junior is for your 2.5-inch strips or strip rolls. Both tools have instructions for cutting all of the shapes that you can get with Hexamajig and Junior, a diagram of what the lines mean, and 6 quilts in the back with layouts to get you started. With Hexamajig, we're going to lay that on a 3.5-inch strip. Make your 2 cuts. You can lop off your little ears. You've got a half hexie. You can cut 2 halves, sew them together to make it look like a full hexie. There are lines across Hexamajig to cut side pieces. This is a full half side, or you can use the second line to cut a shorter side piece. With Hexamajig, there's a place on fold. This is a 7-inch strip that's been folded in half. We put the place on fold line on the tool on the fold of the fabric. Make your cut around, and you can create a full hexie. There are lines across that you can also create your diamond pieces. Hexamajig can be used to strip piece your baby blocks. You have your 2 strip piece units. For one side of your baby block, we have your single dark, your double on the light. There is a seam line on the tool to place it on the seam line for your single and your double. Rotate it for the second half of your baby blocks. For the single on the top, the double on the bottom, we have the single and the double to create the second half of that baby block unit. No Y seams. It's all straight piecing. Okay, we will get rid of that one. So a couple of things that since I have done that video, and I'm just going to show you right here in the camera instead of taking any more time, is you can cut those diamonds without placing the fabric on the fold. And it's really easy just to place it on that 3.5-inch strip. You're going to make your cut across, and then you get the diamond with those little bunny ears lopped off. That makes it really easy to piece together. I've done several projects with that. If you look on Winter Treeland through AQS, I did a special with them last year before Christmas. And there are some new patterns in the mini. I also did a butterfly. So this is using those 2-inch strips because it got big fast. So that is the new Hexa Mini. So with that, I see you see the scroll at the bottom. It says thanks. You will get THANKS, all capital letters. And that's on my website. And you'll get 20% off of any of my tools or patterns. So there's several to choose from. One of the things about the door prize is you'll be choosing from the patterns that I've done. There's 15 that use Brilliant Bindings as a cutting template. So appreciate your time for being here. It's been fun. It's a new experience for me to do this with Raylene, and I sure appreciate being asked. And I hope to see you out there. I'll be in Paducah in a week and a half. Exciting to be in person at the shows. All 3 classes are sold out, but come by the booth and I'll be doing demos in the booth. So
Debbie,
y'all
thank
take
you
care.
so much. I'm so glad that you came on, and I know the gals and guys are as well. Everybody needs a better, easier way to do binding, I'm sure. I know for a fact. And I love that quilt behind you. And a couple things you held up, I would say, oh, I could do that. And Ron just laughs whenever I say all this stuff because I always have visions of grandeur. But, it's like mostly all my sewing machine does is collect dust. But you know how that is when you're on the road all the time. But we do a question and answer at the end. So we hope you'll stick around for that because I'm sure they're going to have some questions for you. But again, guys, you see, she's giving a very generous 20% off. So this is a good time for you to be buying those tools because they all look so much fun. And I know I'm going to be checking them out myself. So we're going to put you backstage and we will see you in a little bit. Thank you, Debbie.
Thanks. I'll be here later. Thank you.
All right. All right, guys. Well, normally now we give you a quick tip, but I realized I forgot to look at my notes and see what I had. So we've just got so much stuff on the show today. We probably didn't really have time anyway. But our next up, bless her heart, poor Amy. Amy from Uniquely Crafts is in the middle of a sleet and wind and storm and hail and everything else where she's at. So we've all known in the past when that happens to a vendor that their internet gets a little sketchy. So she's here. She's been kind of popping in and out. So we're going to bring her in and hopefully we'll keep a connection for her while she shows you her new stuff because she's got a bunch of really cool new things. So I'm just going to turn it over to her while we've got her. So
right?
In case we lose her again. So
it's now
welcome
snowing
back.
Yeah, it's not snowing.
No, it's summertime. What you guys are you don't get it. You shouldn't be having that.
When is spring going to happen?
Well, we've been at over 100 degrees till the last couple of days. It's cooled down in the mid 70s and we're freezing. But I probably shouldn't tell you that while it's snowing and sleeting and hailing.
And it's 35 degrees here.
Oh, no, thank you. Well,
thanks.
I'm going to turn it over to you. And I know we're excited to see that new stuff you've got.
Yeah. So for those of you who have never seen diamond art before or may have seen videos or things like that, I was just going to do a quick demo just to show you how the kit is actually done. And so the kit comes in, it's rolled up and it comes with a picture at the top. And inside your inside your kit, you get your beads, just like this, and we package all of our beads into Ziploc bags. So, except for certain other kits, but our big kits and things like that are all packaged individual. And so each package has a number, and you're going to follow the number to the number key, just like paint by number back in the day, or just like cross stitch. And so you also get a tool set in your kit. And so when you first start, there's a tube at the end of this pen, and you get a wax. And you pull this sheet back and you press this in, and it fills this tube up with wax. Now this is what's going to help pick the beads up out of the tray. So I'm doing package number 2, which are all of the 2s on the sheet. And so if you shake the tray, they'll start popping right side up. There's little grooves in here that you probably can't see. And if you shake it down, they'll actually line up in a line. And so I'm going to pull this sheet back, and it's extremely sticky here. And so all I'm doing is I'm picking them up and I'm putting them on the 2s, and they just stick. That's all you're doing. Now there's also this end here where what I tell people is what you do is you take it to the edge of the wax and you press it down and you slide it across. Sometimes you have to play with it a little bit. You might have to do it twice, but it'll actually fill this tube up with wax. And so what this does is it gives you the opportunity to pick up multiple beads at one time. And then I can press them down. So for instance, I can just press them down, and you can move them into place. So a lot of times, like I'll do a whole bunch of them if I have a row of tons of them, and I'll just keep going, and then I'll go back through and straighten them out. So if I accidentally put one here, I can actually put pressure and move them over to here, and they're not going to come off. This is extremely sticky, but there is wiggle room to actually move around. Now my house right now is really dark because of the nice weather, and so you can also put a sketch light or a light box underneath, and it'll light the letters right through so you can see it. And so it's kind of nice for when you're in the evenings and things like that, and you may not be able to see. And this one's got a 3-way dim, and these will be on our website. Unfortunately, a lot of the new stuff that I have coming, or that I'm going to show today, is not online due to internet issues the last couple of days. And so it's been a complete fight. Every time I go to download something, it just keeps refreshing. So I'm hoping that our internet's back on. So I'm hoping that I get a chance to put more on as soon as the show is over. So this is a full-size kit. So this is a 12 by 16 design. This is one of my new designs. And I'm going to show you just some of my new designs. Now, this is a round bead kit. As you can see, the beads were round that I showed you in the tray. And so I have several different types of kits. So these are round beads. And then I also have partial kits. So what partial means is part of it is beads, but the background is just canvas. So you're not doing the full design. So this is a printed background, but you're putting the beads on it. And it does have the big beads on it. The pen does pick up the big beads. You just use a little bit more wax. And this design just fits right into a 10 by 10 frame. I make all my designs, and I make them all so they fit a standard size frame. So you're not going and spending $100 or $200 on framing. So this is a partial kit, and partial kits are really, really fun. People really enjoy doing partial kits. And then I also have the square bead kit. So squares fit closer together, which you get more dimension and more shading to the images. So when I do a design in square, it's when I want a lot more detail. When I design in round, it's where there's a lot of the same colors in the same area, and it gets really boring doing the square of repetitive of the same color. So this is square, which, like I said, it fits more like a cross stitch. They fit closer together. I really like square just for the simple fact that I feel like they line up better. And then a finished one of a round one that I just finished the other night is the tulips. And so this is round beads. And you can see there's a lot of the same colors in the same area. But I do make all my designs so there's a lot more colors than what you see at other places, where I put at least 30 to 35 different color variations into each design. When you're completely done with this, you'll just cut this edge off and you'll put it right into a standard size frame, like I said, that you can just go out to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and buy. I was planning to have more demos, but right now they're completely stuck in the van and I cannot get to them because of the weather. I can't unload anything because it's rainy, snowy, sleety, whatever it decides to do outside. So I was going to show you a couple of my new designs that I just printed off some pictures because of the internet issues. So I'm trying to do some fall stuff, so maybe you can get them and have them ready to go for fall. I did a lot of gnomes. There's still some other ones that I still have to put online. But some of these are, some of them aren't. It's just, hopefully they will be on after the show. And so this is the gnome one. It's the Halloween one. It's the one I'm working on right now. And this is a 12 by 16, $25. Another new one is the autumn gnome. I know gnomes are extremely popular right now, so I did a whole bunch of different gnomes. And then I also have the Halloween gnome. And then the spring gnome. And then once my computer decided not to connect to my printer, I just had to pull some of these. So this is the guitar. It's one of my new ones. This is a little bit bigger size. I have to make it a bigger size for it to actually work. And then I also have the fall gnomes. So these are some of my new ones. There's still some more to add. These not all are added yet. So we'll see how it goes today. I'm hoping that I can get them online. And so now let's say you want to do a gift, or you have kids or grandkids and you want to do some fun stuff. Maybe you have them over. So I have several different journals that are brand new. Some I might have shown before, I'm not for sure. So this is a new one. This is online. It's just really fun. Now the journals are not lined. I don't line a lot of them because not everybody wants to write in them. A lot of people like to draw, and you could still write in it even though it doesn't have lines. And so this is a new one. It's not online yet, just because of the issue, but this is the butterfly one. And then I also have this one. And then the, I can't think, Dreamcatcher. This one's really pretty. It's like a pinwheel. And then lastly, this is another new one. And see, this is printed, or this is just printed. And when you're done, you'll spray clear acrylic gloss over top of it. And this will seal the beads into place and take away the stickiness around the beads. Because it will be tacky once you're finished and you don't want stuff sticking to it. And so a couple other new things are stickers. So I have come up with stickers for kids to do and some for adults. These are princesses, and I actually have these done. Some I do not have done because time is not always on our side. So these are the stickers that I just showed you, and they're $12, and you get all of these into one kit. And then I have the monsters, I call it. I do not have these done, but this is a 4 different sheets you get in one kit for $12. So this is the one. So I have a couple different ones. I'm trying to do more boy stuff because I have a lot of girl stuff. So these are really fun to do. Oops, this one's upside down. So these are just something fun to do. You can also use these stickers if you're a scrapbooking person. You can use them for scrapbooking. Kids can put them on like little frames, maybe if they go to Disney, things like that, just something fun. So then these two are the rainbow stickers. You get this set. These have the bigger beads, and it's just a little bit easier for maybe like a 5 or 6-year-old to pick those up. So those are bigger beads. And then I also have the mermaids. So these are the mermaids that I have now. And these are bigger beads also. The princesses were not the bigger beads. And then lastly I guess I still have the cactuses, but I also have the dinosaurs. So there you get all 3 of these sheets in one kit for $12. So there's this one, there's that one. I think I have plastic over it. And then there's this one. So you get all 3 sheets for $12 with your tool set, your beads, and everything you need to make it. Now I also came up with some cactus ones, which are really fun. My idea behind this is to put them on pots. So if you have like a little succulent, things like that, that you can put on the pot and decorate it with a potted plant. So these are going to be new. This is going to be Cactus 1 and Cactus 2 once I get these online. And these are $12 and they're just something really fun to do. And then I do have kids kits. I'm just going to show just a couple different ones real quick, just so you kind of see that I do have little small kids kits. I know Easter's around the corner and I'm probably too late of getting these out for Easter, but if you're delayed on seeing somebody for Easter, these are a great gift. And so then I also have new bookmarks available. And so there's the butterfly that kind of matches that butterfly journal that I showed you. I also have a lady, a turtle, and the cactuses. So I have all 4 of these that are brand new. And I also have pencil cases. Pencil cases are really fun. You can actually put like little small sewing stuff in it. A lady I know puts M&Ms in them and takes them to her sewing classes, like just little snacky stuff. But you can put all kinds of things in them. And so there's 2 different sections. And I don't know if I showed some of these designs, so I'm showing them again. But there's this one that's online. I also have this one. This is a very popular one, the butterflies, the purple. And these are new. It's something I'm trying. These are actually a colored case, not a clear case. And these are teal. And so something different, something fun. This one is also teal, not clear. And this one is blue. And you're just doing the front. This is very popular. And then the green one, and kind of just a very colorful one. Kind of reminds me of a circus a little bit. So some of these are online, some of they're not, just for the simple fact of our weather issues. Lastly, I just want to show a couple new compacts that I have out that are really fun. These are the cats. It's a 2-sided cat with a mirror. We do have a little bit of fingerprints on this because we're gluing them in to place. So there might be a little bit of fingerprints, DNA behind there. And I also have the white one, which I could not find the demo for, but here is the white one, and it's also 2-sided. And let's see here. There's one other new one, the ice cream cone. And this is 2-sided also. And then these are the other ones that I just brought. I have the frog, the cherry, some really fun stuff, like little cat. He's super popular. Everybody likes this blue one. And let's see, the strawberry and the butterfly. Almost forgot what I was going to say. And so that's basically some of the new stuff that I could get out. I do have some other new stuff that I'm just not able to get to at this point because our life is very, very hectic. But I do have a special. It's wild. The promo code is wild, and you get 20% off your entire purchase. We do have a new thing on our website that just went up today. If you click on the link at the it shows where you sign up, and you actually get diamond points now. So for a certain amount that you spend, you actually get diamond points. So you can use those points and get free kits and money off of your purchases as you go along. Just kind of like stores do. So, and we do have that now. And so thanks for watching.
That was great. And we made through without losing your connection.
Woo!
Yay. And, because of that, I wanted to go ahead real quick.
I tried to be very, very quick and try not to show a whole lot just because of the weather.
Well, and I know Linda, who's next, will be very patient because since we have been so fortunate and not lost your connection, I want to go ahead and ask a couple of the questions, so that way we'll be able to let you go. But one of our viewers said, and Ron's going to scroll back, the color from her black beads ran through her white when she sprayed the top spray, and she's not sure what might have happened. Does that sound like something?
I've never had that happen. I don't know which kit. She should have emailed me on that. But
yeah, Carol, why don't you email Amy through her website?
If you put it behind glass, you shouldn't spray it with anything.
Okay, great. Yeah, Carol McCracken. Email Amy through her website and maybe give her a little more specifics.
It's probably
so that
the
she can give you
sewing machine, but you shouldn't have to spray it if you put it behind glass. It shouldn't be sprayed. You only spray like the ones that are going to be exposed.
And then the other thing is I just wanted to clear up some confusion. The stuff that she showed you guys today that's new, that's not on her website, she's not out of stock of it. She just hasn't been able to get a connection long enough to download them onto the website. So, for example, the pumpkin and the gnome, which, by the way, Rondi and Mary, she has assaulted us today with the gnomes because, the three of us are very creeped out by gnomes, and all of our regular viewers know that. And they were making little silly comments. But no, she does have that new one. It's not on her website because of her internet issues with her bad weather. So
I'm hoping after the show I can maybe go drive somewhere and to
so we would just tell you guys, show her some Wild Wednesday love and just make sure you keep checking back. And yeah, Carol said it was the sewing machine, but again, I'll have her reach out to you directly.
Yeah, that was the only kid I could think that was white and black, but she'll have to send me it. But she shouldn't be spraying it with anything if she's putting it behind glass.
Right. And then I think that was the question. The main thing is they misunderstood and thought you were out of stock. And although I do know that Rondi was asking for a pumpkin without that scary gnome. So
I do have pumpkins available. Just type in on your search bar pumpkin.
So and there you go, Rondi.
All the pumpkins.
You don't need to worry about that scary little gnome. Although I have to admit, a couple of those new gnome ones you showed, although they still creep me out, they were pretty cute. So
yeah. Well, and also it depends on what kind of spray you use, because there's like I always tell people, don't use the Mod Podge kind, because Mod Podge it's horrible. Unfortunately, on some of these beads. So it depends on the spray that she used. I have no idea. I'll have to find out what the spray is because I have never heard of it, and it's never happened to me.
Right. So Carol, just reach out to Amy directly. And then one more question before we let you go is one of our, Linda, who we call Linda ABC, is just wondering if they go in and put stuff in their cart, will it hold it in the cart for them to wait and then add the things as you get them in? Or should they just wait? Yeah, they will hold your cart. Yeah. So there you go, Linda. There's your answer.
I really am sorry, but the sale goes, I put it till Saturday. So you have all the way till Saturday to.
Right. So you've got extra time, guys. So she'll make sure they get up there.
Because of this reason.
And just don't forget, set yourself a reminder and don't forget to go back and purchase from her. Okay. Well, I'm going to let you go, Amy, because I know you're trying to get all these things done, but we are so happy that you were able to come back on, and we'll have you on again soon when you have some more new stuff. Right. And we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, that was really good. And, I've told you guys before, I got super addicted to her stuff. And, Beth also sells her stuff in her store and at the shows. Those journals are such great gifts. I've done those. I did those for several people for Christmas, and they absolutely loved them. And they're so quick and fun. I like to do it in the van while Ron's driving. I can, take the partial kits with me where there's not as many beads to deal with. So they are a great way to relax. So, all right. So, again, we have a lot of great door prizes today, but that's going to be happening after our next vendor. So stay tuned for that secret word. And now we're going to bring on Linda McGehee from Ghee's. we had talked about the bias makers a while back, and she's like, hey, I use those all the time. And how about I come on the show and tell everybody how I use them? So I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So welcome back, Linda.
Hello. Hello to everybody. It's so good to be here, and it was so much fun to be in Sacramento with a lot of folks there. I was happy to give away some Mardi Gras beads. We work hard to get them, but then it's fun to give them away. And you can use Mardi Gras beads as a strap on a little evening type bag. So think about that on one of your projects, those of you who have too many Mardi Gras beads.
We're wearing them around the next day,
Well,
the whole day at the
wear them
show.
around too. Whatever you want to do with them, they're just fun to have and play with. I've done bags for a long time, and there are all sorts of parts of bags that are really important. One of them being the strap. And every single bag has a strap with the exception of a clutch. And it's important that you make the strap the size that's appropriate for the size bag you make. So the smaller the bag, the smaller the strap. And we've all stitched tubes and turned them, and they're really not too much fun to turn sometimes. But there are easier ways to handle straps. So let's take a look at a few of the ways that I do straps, and I'll give you sort of a trunk show. All of these are done just a little bit different. The tool that Raylene was talking about is the bias turning tool. And these are available in a variety of sizes. Raylene has them on her website, so you'll need to go to her website to get them. And I think she told me that she's going to give you a discount when you order this week. There are actually two different types. One of them just turns the fabric. The other one gives you a spot where you can put a fusible in and press the fusible, paperback fusible, onto your bias as you're pressing the outside edges in. So you have choices in size and types to work with. So go to her website for that. Now, I use a variety of sizes, and it depends upon the size strap I have. So webbing has been one of the easiest ways to make a strap. But webbing is just plain old webbing. It's just a plain old strap. It doesn't have any fancy to it. You could put decorative stitching on it if you wanted to. And if you do use decorative stitching, use a high contrast color thread and also put it in the bobbin. But another thing you can do to a strap is add a piece of fabric to the outside. And that's where using the bias tool comes in. Now, it's called a bias tool, but you can use straight fabric. I find that the lengthwise fabric does not give, so I prefer to cut the lengthwise, but you're going to put this fabric on a piece of webbing, which isn't going to stretch, so it is okay to use the crosswise grain. Sometimes you use what you have available. It's okay. Now, this is a 1-inch tool, so I cut my fabric twice the width. So I need to cut a piece of fabric that's 2 inches wide. I have a tendency to cut it 1/8 of an inch less, so it's a skimpy 2-inch piece of fabric. Cut the fabric longer than you need, and it's easier if you cut a point on one end. The point goes with the wrong side up of your fabric into the tool. So we're just placing it into the tool, and it's really kind of cumbersome to get the fabric to go in the tool. So I use an awl, and the awl is a tool with a very sharp point, and I use it a lot on zippers to remove the stops and do some of the things that I play with zippers, but I can also use the tool to push the fabric through. Now, I have already pressed just a little bit of this, but the way the tool works is the fabric goes in from one end, put your iron on top of the folded fabric, so you will pull, press, so that you end up with a piece of fabric that is a perfect, in this case, inch wide. And I use inch wide on 1.5 inch webbing so that I have a little bit of the webbing poking out on both sides. You could just stitch this down. It is easier if you have fused it in place so it's centered where you want it to be. Use a decorative stitch on the edge. You can use a straight stitch. It's whatever makes you feel good the day you're doing it. So use the tool to turn the fabric. It could be bias or it could be straight grain, whatever makes you feel good. Now, there are times when I don't want to use webbing. Maybe I want to use a matching fabric. And so this is much easier to do than cutting and stitching and turning a tube. You decide how wide you want the strap to be. I'm going for easy math today. So I've got a 4-inch wide piece of fabric. It's going to end up being 2 inches wide because I'm using this on a large bag with a wide strap. Place steam-a-seam on the wrong side. And steam-a-seam is that fusing medium. You can get it all over the place. Almost every store carries steam-a-seam. I carry it on my website. I have it in 24-inch wide, 18-inch wide, or in the sheets. It depends upon the project I'm using, which one I purchase, but we have it for you to work with. And I use the steam-a-seam light because it won't add a cardboardy effect. You need some of the heavier steam-a-seam on other types of projects, but the light works perfectly for the things that I like to do. You will pull the paper backing off and then fold the cut edges to the center and fuse in place. So you've just butted these edges together. You don't have any bulk. You haven't had to turn anything. Then you will take your bias strip and lay it on top and finish the edges with stitching. So real quick, easy ways to make straps. Now, I like to have straps that are adjustable. So there are lots of fun 3-bar slides and D-rings that you can purchase to make your pieces look a little bit fancier, dress them up just a bit. These happen to be gold. I have brass. These are 1.5 inches, so they work well with the 1.5 inch strap. We have them for 1.5 inches as well as inch straps. When I found this 3-bar slide, I could not find a D-ring that went along with it. So what I've done is use the 3-bar slide as a D-ring. And it just seemed to dress up things on this particular bag. We have some wonderful piecing on one side, because, and I was using scraps. And because I didn't have enough to do the other side's a little bit different. It just has a pocket on it with a little bit of the same piecing on it. Now, to show you, this is lanyap. In Louisiana, that means a little bit extra. To show you how different this looks without piping, take a look at this piece that was stitched together without the piping. The black and white piping just dresses things up around the upper edge of the bag, in between the piecing and on the straps. Now this time I used a narrower bias turning tool and added a piece of fabric underneath using the wavy cutter from the rotary cutter set. So it's an additional layer, and you can see from the back there's a couple of rows of stitching to hold everything in place. The 3-bar slide was used with this 1-inch wide strap. This is used as opposed to a D-ring. This is the part that slides. So you will, and this got a little bit thick, so I have to help it a little bit, but you attach the end of your strap to the center of the slide. That goes into the D-ring or slide in this case, over top the slide, and then is attached to the end of the bag. So it's real slick to put together. Here's another one using some black plastic hardware. This is an 1-inch wide strap, and it has a 3/4 inch piece of fabric on it. So we have the plastic available in inch, inch and a half, as well as 2 inches. So they come in packages for there's 4 pieces in there, so that's enough to do 2 straps. So we have a D-ring, which looks like this, and we have a 3-bar slide, which looks like this. Now we also have some pretty slides that are in the brass, gold, and silver, and their D-ring looks like that. So even though you're in instructions, you're asked for D-rings, look at the shapes that you're working with and decide what's appropriate. These were purchased as a set. Now, normally I order D-rings 100 at a time. That's what was in the package. And the last time I ordered, I needed some 2-inch D-rings, and they sent me 500. So I have an abundance of 2-inch D-rings. And if you can think of some way to use them besides on straps, then let me know. I'll be glad to pass it along. But these are 2-inch wide D-rings. We also have the slides that go along with them. Let's take a look at some straps and how they were finished. This is denim. And at the show in Reno, they asked me to do a class on recycling. So we're doing denim. So this is an idea I'm going to be showing on the strap. We use denim for the fabric part as opposed to webbing. And then we put fabric on top of it. It's a nice sturdy strap. And it was really quick and easy to make. Wonderful cross stitch. This cross stitch was stitched by machine, but this is actually the back of the strap. Take a look at that strap. It just looks, it's kind of blah. But the right side of the strap has an additional piece of fabric on it. It really dressed up the fabric to add that fabric to the strap. This particular fabric was printed on the bias. So it was cut straight so that the plaid is on the bias. I recommend any stripes or plaid you use be cut on the bias just because it looks better. Now to do that strap, we're going to go back to this piece. And we're going to pretend that I want a 1-inch strap made out of fabric. Depending upon the fabric you're working with, you may need to interface the fabric. We're going to work with 4 layers of fabric. So fold 4 layers together and see how sturdy they are. So we're going to fold in half and then fold the insides to the center like we did before. So it is like this, and then fold in half again. You will edge stitch the open side first and then edge stitch the folded side. And I like to use the edge stitching foot and move my needle over, and I can stitch perfectly even down the length. After you have completed that stitching, then you will put your bias piece or your piece of trim on top of it. This is a cute little bag with the bias on the strap. And of course, I like to put buttons on pockets just for the fun of it. And I have a collection of frog buttons. So I have a little frog button on the side there. Just makes it easier to pull open your pocket. And notice that I use zipper trim because zipper trim wears better than putting binding on the edge of your pockets. Here's another adjustable strap, and I think that's what Ruthie put on the website this time. So we've got fabric cut on the bias. This is the 1.5 inches with the 3-bar slide and the D-ring to make it adjustable. When you're using it as a crossbody bag, you need a different length than if you're using it just on one shoulder. So it's nice to have an adjustable strap. Now, you know, the larger the bags get, the wider the strap needs to be because you got to hold all that stuff that you put in your bag. And I know no matter what size bag it is, it's always full. So this is the roundabout bag. It's one that we've made a little bit deeper so that you can put a water bottle in this pocket. And we've also adjusted the straps differently on some other bags so that we can use it as a backpack. The original pattern had traditional type straps. This is a fabric strap with a bias turning tool used on the fabric to cover the raw edges. Because it's such a large bag, we have also added a shoulder pad. And you can make your own shoulder pads, or we have them in 2-inch wide that you just slip the fabric in, and it helps on your shoulder when you're carrying the weight. And of course, you need the 3-bar slide and the D-ring for adjusting. Here's another with a little bit more high contrast, and the black and white stripe isn't quite as wide as the fabric, just because it would have been overpowering a little bit too much of the black and white showing. All you have to do is cover what's in the center, that raw wedge that's in the center here. Again, it's an adjustable strap. Now, sometimes I just have to use a decorative stitch on my machine. You know, you bought these machines that have all these wonderful stitches on them. You gotta use them. So you can see the stitch on the back side more than you can see it from the front. But this is what the stitching looks like. It's one of those stitches that takes forever to stitch out. It did add a nice lace effect to the fabric. See if I can't get it closer so you can see a little bit better. But it took 45 minutes just to stitch this decorative stitch on both sides of the strap. And once you're started, you're committed. So you got to finish it. But I persevered, and it is a pretty strap. This is leftover piecing from another project. So it doesn't have to be a solid piece of fabric. It could be pieced or whatever you happen to have around in your collection, because I know everybody's got nice collections. Okay. Beth carries some wonderful, it's not blanks, what do you call them? Anyway, they're a yard of fabric that I'm having a blank. Anyway, this is made from the panel. That's a word, one of those big words. This is a panel. The butterflies were flying in both directions, so it's perfect to make a bag. And notice how the strap has the fabric on the webbing, just as we mentioned. Here's another bag, a little bit wider, and extra decorative stitching was used. This is decorative straight stitching, just meandering all over the strap. It didn't have to be anything wonderful. It's kind of practicing sewing crooked, using the wonderful 3-bar slides. And believe it or not, this zipper coming around the edge is a glow-in-the-dark zipper. So the pull is glow-in-the-dark. Why do we have glow-in-the-dark zippers? Because we can, because it's fun, and we don't have to have an excuse for everything we do. It's just fun. This is another panel with the strap used from the fabric to finish it off. In some piecing, the spiral patchwork with a fluffy strap and leftover piecing on the strap, and another panel. You think this is pieced, but it's actually a panel. So there's all sorts of ways that you can play with straps that are nice and easy and fun. I hope you'll go over to our website and take a look at some of the hardware. What I did, because I know some people have trouble with their codes, what I did was go ahead and mark everything down, and the code's going to be good through Saturday. So go ahead and take a look at the web. It's ghees.com. And if you click on shop, And then handbag hardware, you'll go to where all the webbing is, and there's bunches of different colors in 3/4 inch, 1 inch, inch and a half, and fewer colors in the 2 inch. And I look forward to seeing you at the Boise show. I'm going to be there, and the Oklahoma show, and who knows where else I'll show up.
I know we're a bunch of gypsies. Who knows where we'll turn up? But I'm so excited you're going to be in Boise with us. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah. So thank you so much. That was some really good ideas. And again, guys, she mentioned the bias tape makers. Yes, I do have them in any from 1/8 of an inch up to 2 inches. And Ruth has put them on. If you go to my website, justnotions.com, and I'll have her put that in the comments also. Hey, Siri. Ruth, put that in the comments if you would. If you click on Wild Wednesday, she's put all those bias makers there, so they're easy to find. And we will give 20% off, so that we kind of stay in the same. We didn't want to be left out. Everybody's giving all these great 20% discounts, so that's on there. So Linda, we hope you'll stick around for just a second. We're going to be bringing everybody back in just a bit for question and answers.
Okay, will do.
Okay, guys, I know that you are waiting for the secret word, and we are running a little long today because we had such amazing vendors, and they had so much great stuff to share. So get ready. Again, if you're new with us, in just a second, I'm going to give you the secret word. All you have to do is type that into the comments, and that's going to enter you in the drawing. We ask that you only type it in once so that I don't have to be filtering all those out. Then about an hour after the show is over, I should have it all done. Come back to the Wild Wednesday Live Facebook page where we're at right now, and you will see who the winners were and how to redeem. And if you're watching from YouTube, we have to do it a little bit different because unfortunately, as soon as the show's over, we lose your comments. We're going to figure this out one of these days. But that's just kind of the nature of the YouTube. But I have people standing by to make sure we get your names. And if a YouTube viewer wins, I will private message you and let you know, because I know if you don't have Facebook, you would never see the post. So anyway, we got you covered. So, all right, guys, you ready? Today's secret word, Easter. Easter is Sunday, so it's a very appropriate word for us. So Easter is the word for today. Now, while you're getting that typed in, I do just want to remind you of a few things before we bring all of the vendors back in for question and answer. Or the two that are standing by anyway. I want to remind you that today at 4 o'clock Pacific time is when Beth is having her regular Wednesday celebration, but the addition of all those auction items from Eleanor Peace Bailey. And I know that Christy put that link in earlier, so if you didn't catch it, scroll back in the comments and you'll see that link. Also, as far as the door prizes go, unfortunately, I do need to remind you, if you are viewing from outside of the United States, we love to have you participate, but if you win, you will need to cover the shipping to get it to you. We had to start doing that because we've got so many viewers outside of the contiguous U.S. And the last time someone won, it cost the vendor like $25 to get the prize to them, and they just can't cover that. So if you want to participate from outside the country, that's awesome. Just know again that you will need to pay the shipping to get it to you, but you'll still get the door prize for free. Okay, and I think that is about it. So while you guys are finishing up getting those typed in, Ron's going to bring Linda and Debbie back in, and now is your chance, guys. If you have questions for either one of these fantastic vendors, just type those into the comments and I will field those to them and we'll get them answered for you. So we're going to give you just a second to get those in. And also remember, if you are going to the Castle Rock show, be sure you check back about a month before. And again, that's going to be on May, 26th to 28th. You will be able to buy your tickets ahead of time at a discount. And that saves you a couple of bucks, but it also saves you standing in the line. So be sure you do that. And then also, if you're not familiar, while everybody's getting their questions ready here, I just want to remind you, you can go to quiltcraftsew.com, which is the main promoter that Beth and I both work with, although we do some others as well. But if you go to quiltcraftsew.com, you can sign up for any of the shows that you might be interested in. And what happens then is you're going to get an email before that show a few weeks ahead of time so that you'll be able to go ahead and check out the program, kind of plan the classes that you want to do, plan the make and takes. And I know Linda, you're teaching in Boise, right?
Yes, I think I have
Yes,
two
Linda and I
classes.
both will have 2 classes each in Boise. So you want to be sure that you plan your schedule properly so that you can see both of us. All right. So, okay, guys, does anybody have any? Oh, what is Linda's coupon code? She doesn't have a code. She just put her items on sale. Is that right, Linda?
That's right. Yeah.
So in your handbag hardware category, I actually said that without tying my tongue in a knot.
Good job.
And for Debbie, Jenny would like to know what the cost of the Hexamajig is.
Hexamajig is $17.50. That's the 3.5-inch size.
And then what about the other sizes?
The junior is $15 for 2.5-inch strips, and Hexa Mini is $12.50 for the 2-inch strips.
Awesome.
And all of those all those things are in there with all those layouts for you. That's in the packet that comes with your tool.
Right. And Kathy Meyer, yes, there is also, this will be the first year between Boise and Castle Rock is the Salt Lake City show. Beth or I, neither one will be attending there, but we will be reminding all you guys about what's going on there as well when we get a little bit closer. And let's see, Linda, hang on, my screen just jumped and I lost the question. Okay, Linda, do you have a rule of thumb for the length of the strap for a shoulder bag versus a carry bag?
Well, the messenger pattern mentions 1.25 yards. I mean, I would allow at least allow at least 1.25 yards. If you're taller, you might need more.
Awesome. And do you ever put fabric on both sides of the webbing or the strap?
Ooh, trying to match it on the other side might not be too much fun.
That might be kind of hard to do. Plus, it'd make it pretty thick too.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. Linda, I'm doing both long arm and regular. Do I need both tools? Oh, for the binding tool, Linda, it's going to be the same, whichever you're doing.
Brilliant bindings.
You're talking about the binder tool. Hang on. Okay, Debbie.
We're talking about Brilliant bindings?
I think that's what she meant.
Yeah. So I've got it 1/4 inch thick for the long arm. That has instructions for domestic and long arm. The 1/8 inch, the one with the yellow bag, that's just domestic instructions. Because you can bind your quilt on your frame before you remove it.
Perfect. It looks like for those of you that are going to the Salt Lake show, they already have the advanced ticket sales up on the website for that. So that's a good thing to know. So just go to quiltcraftso.com. And let's see. Leandra would like to know, Linda, are you doing any online Zoom classes right now? Do you have anything scheduled?
I don't have one on schedule. I'm thinking about doing one at the end of May or the end of April, end of May.
So just check her website.
Yeah. If you're on my newsletter, then you'll find out about it and we'll put it on Facebook. But the newsletter is the best way to find it at gees.com. Just sign up for the newsletter. You're not inundated with mail because I write it.
There you go. That's kind of with me. I used to be so good to do one once a week. And now it's like, it's I'm lucky to get the one out before a show. Ed is asking about the link for Beth's auction. That's on her Facebook page, and it's Fabric Chicks Creative Oasis. And if you scroll back through some of the earlier comments, her trusty, I shouldn't call Christy, her trusty assistant, she just kind of keeps her all in order. She did post that link in the comments. Go ahead, Linda.
Say something?
Yes, you can.
Okay. When the person asks about the length of a strap, generally going around from the top of the bag to the top of the bag is 1.25 yards. But if you're going to make it adjustable, you need to add more to that. And it depends upon your height too. So plan 2 yards until you get it figured out what's appropriate for you. If you're making an adjustable strap, then 2 yards is going to take care of anybody. But you don't want to get the strap too short.
Awesome. And Janet, what I think the tool you're talking about that you're asking if I carry is called a Jig, and that is for when you're going over that bulky thickness so that you keep your needle going where it's supposed to go, but you can raise your foot up. And that, I believe, it's on my website either under sewing machine accessories or miscellaneous notions. I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head, but one of those two places. If you don't find it, you can always email me and I'll help you out with that. All right, guys, we're way over our time today, but that's okay because it has been a really, really informative show. So if anybody comes up with questions after we sign off, you can email right through either one of any of our three vendors' websites. Remember, check back in about an hour to the Wild Wednesday Live Facebook page, and that's where you're going to find out if you were a winner of one of these terrific prizes. And we would really like to thank Amy and Linda and Debbie. This was such an informative show. I'm really excited about the show today. I got a lot of great tips, and I can't wait to put them into use, and I know our viewers did as well. So we thank you guys for being here and for your generous donations of door prizes.
Thanks.
All right, so I think that's it. So we will see you guys next week with 3 more vendors. So everybody go out, make it a creative week, and don't forget about Best Auction, 4 o'clock Pacific today. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.